Anthony Herwig here with you, and we have a Jackson Milton softball player profile. The last player profile for McKaylee Thornhill. We've done a couple of them, and here we are,
Yeah.
senior year. Mac, thank you so much for taking the time to join us again today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Let's talk about it. Senior season, there's a lot of last to come with it. Last everything, really. How
Yeah.
have you been dealing with all the emotions that senior year has brought you?
Um, I've been doing pretty good, and I think I'm doing good because I know that I have 4 more years since I'm playing in college. So I, if I wasn't playing college, I I'd be so sad, like because I love softball, and playing 4 more years after this is really helping me get through this year.
You are going to have 4 years of softball, but you had to say goodbye to the other sports that you've played in volleyball and basketball. You went through the senior
Yeah.
nights of those games, had your last games that you're going to play in those sports. What was it like saying goodbye to the multiple sport athlete? Know that you're not going to be playing volleyball and basketball anymore.
It's honestly relieving because softball's always been my number one sport, and I'd have to go from basketball to volleyball to softball, do all three sports in one day. So it was exhausting. Even though I loved it, it ended up being a lot. So I'm gonna miss it, but I'm glad to focus solely on softball now.
When did softball become the sport that you wanted to focus on? Was it always just the only sport on your mind, or was there a transition period at some point when you figured out that softball was the one that you loved the most?
Um, Probably freshman, sophomore year, like softball season, when um I don't know, just those seasons and having Coach C, because for travel ball, I had some coaches that just kind of put out my fire a little bit, and Coach C really ignited it a lot. And like, I couldn't thank her enough for that. So just when Coach C was my coach, that's when I was like, oh, I love softball.
All right, so you are going to play at the next level, and I don't want to give that thunder away from you. For anyone that doesn't follow you or listening to this for the first time, or maybe they're trying to, I don't know, decide where you're going to go, why don't you tell everyone where you're going to be playing softball for the next 4 years?
I'm going to be playing softball at Washington and Jefferson in Washington, PA. The coach asked me if I wanted to pitch for her, and I was like, yeah. And I plan on pursuing 2 majors and 2 minors to optometry and physician assistant with 2 minors in forensic science and dietitian.
When you were doing the whole recruiting process and visiting colleges and deciding where you wanted to go play, what was it about Washington and Jefferson that made it the place you wanted to be and the place that felt like home?
I just like I know a lot of people feel it too, but like I was just on campus and I felt at home. Like I didn't feel out of place, even if I went with my parents. Like I still felt at home. Like I could really see myself walking there and going to school there. And the
Can you
softball.
pin?
Oops, sorry.
No, if you're not done, you can continue.
No, I was just saying, and the softball coach is amazing, and I've met the team, and the teams like they're all awesome. So I'm just excited to meet all of them.
If you could pinpoint something about the campus that made it feel like home, that you felt like this is why it feels like home, could you pinpoint something?
Um, just that it felt clean and there wasn't like I guess anything sketchy,
Right.
Like it's very um it's like an old modern, I guess. They have all the old buildings, but they're not run down. Like they're very upkept and it's just so nice.
We're talking about what made Washington Jefferson feel like your home for the next 4 years. Let's talk about your current home in Jackson Milton and what has made it feel like home for the last 4 years. When you're in Jackson Milton, you're in the school system, you're on the softball field. What makes this community feel like home to you?
Just that everyone's supportive and there for you. Like even though you might not get along too well, but if you get something that they might not like in sports, they're still like congratulations, and I feel like no one's really jealous of anyone.
when you're talking about senior year, and obviously that comes with a lot of leadership opportunities and the ability to try to build the program past when you graduate, how much have you seen maybe the younger players of the softball team kind of show a little bit of that leadership qualities that makes you confident that this program is going to continue and be strong after you graduate?
I just know that like some of the freshmen have been thrown into the fire. Like Emma Johns, she's our leadoff batter as a freshman and started at shortstop. And so she went like some freshmen build their way up, but Emma got thrown in and she's just an all around good athlete and a good person. So I feel like she's definitely um going to lead the team very well throughout her whole 4 years. And that goes for all the freshmen. They're all the underclassmen are pretty good.
Let's talk about your pitching in the circle this year. You've been doing a really good job, and you have to pitch against some really, really good lineups. What's it been like in the circle this year for you? What has been your mindset, and what do you think has been the biggest strength of your pitching this year so far?
My mindset is one game at a time. So like we played McDonald Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. And so like Monday and Tuesday when we played Springfield, I was like, I need to focus on like hitting my spots Monday, because if I just hit my spots Monday, I can do it Wednesday. And that's been helping me a lot. And I've been lifting a lot. So like in the weight room, and that has helped my pitching tremendously because I have more energy and I notice a difference in my speed, honestly. I'm not saying I'm throwing gas, but um, it's definitely more constant. And I think like if I were to tell any underclassmen or anybody else is use the weight room. Like you don't even have to be lifting 300 pounds, but just little stuff that help the whole softball as a whole is just great.
We've talked about your love for softball. What about your love for the art of pitching and obviously putting so much time into it? What got you into that, and how have you continued your love of just that aspect of the game and pitching in the circle and working on your craft inside that circle?
It's just I feel like softball really helps with out of softball lessons. Like if you're not having a good day, like you don't have to pitch great. But as long as you do your best, like you can still get far just doing your best. And I feel like I don't know. I just like pitching. So
We know that. We know that Mac Dog loves pitching. That's one thing that we know really well. Senior year also is the last year in the classroom for you at Jackson Milton. So what's it been like, working in school? Have you felt senioritis yet? Is it starting to kick in on you a little bit?
I had senioritis before we even started. It was the summer before, and I was like, I'm ready to go. But I took decently hard classes this year, so I took like physics, calculus, and anatomy all at 7:40 in the morning. And so I've really, as like they say it now, I like locked in and I took those classes to get prepared for college. So when I'm at college playing softball, I'm not absolutely clueless in the hard classes. So, but I'm still ready to be done.
We're talking to you here in the first week of May. Yeah, have you gotten taken care of all the hard stuff, or do you still have some pretty big assignments, tests that are still on the horizon here in the next couple weeks of school?
Uh, I have my physics finals and calculus and anatomy. So those are, and they're all in the same week. So it's going to be tough, but all my college classes are done. So it's really just getting prepared for those main classes.
So at least you still got some stuff to warm up, and you can't pack it in yet. But when you graduate, it's gonna happen. You're gonna walk down that aisle. You're gonna accept that diploma. You are able to get a little bit reflective on the things that you're proud of in that school and the things that you're proud of in the classroom, outside the classroom, on the field. What are some accomplishments, whether it be in school, in life, in sports, that you're amazingly proud of yourself for getting done in your high school career?
As I've said like previously with the hard classes I took this year, I'm graduating one of the 8 valedictorians. So I have that. I've worked very hard for that, keeping a 4.0 over the whole 4 years, taking college classes, taking higher maths. So I'm very proud of myself for that while keeping a 4.0 and playing 3 high school sports, playing travel ball, being involved in 4-H and my youth group. And I don't know, I'm just proud of myself that I was able to juggle it good enough.
Are you doing a valedictorian speech?
I am. They were due the first, so it's like, oh my gosh.
Turned in. It's going. What? Give us a little bit of a preview of what you've already written it. You've already turned it in. What's your speech gonna get? What are the themes? What are the overarching themes?
I'm not a yapper. Like, I keep it bare minimum. So I thank the basketball coach because he made the senior year tremendous. Like, he made it great. So I talked about him, and I talked about my dad pushing me with my grades, because if I had a 94, like Jackson Milton's A is a 92.5. So if I had like a 94, 95, he's like, Mac, you need to get that up. That's too low. He's like, get it to 98, 99. 100 would be preferable. But so I just talked about how he would like jokingly push me and be like, you got to keep an A. And just how, I don't know, everyone's hoping.
That sounds like Rusty right there. That
Yes.
sounds like your dad. The never good enough.
Yeah. Negative Nancy there.
You could get 100, and he'd say, "Well, why didn't you get 101?"
Yes. Yeah, he's said that before. He's like, was there extra credit on it? Why didn't you get 101?
Come on, man, you're
like,
not doing good
I don't
enough. So we're talking about the things that you do outside of school. You brought up 4-H. You brought up your youth group. How much are the things that you're involved in outside of athletics helped you not gas out or not lose your love for the sports that you play?
Honestly, it would give me a break, because sometimes, not that I'd get tired of sports, but you almost just like, sometimes a break's better than being stuck in a rut. So like the fairs in the Trumbull County Fairs in July. So like I have raised these pigs from February to July, and I get to show them off in July. And usually I don't go to any sports. I just stay with my pigs and take care of them there, talk to the buyers. And that's like not a vacation, but it is. It's something different for me. And youth group, I go there like Wednesdays and Sundays. That's the big getaway from everything. And I have a lot of friends there, so I get to talk to my friends from like Canfield and Heartland and all that. And it's just something different.
All right, so like it or not, the pitchers always get stereotypes of being the mental cases of the team. So I got to ask you, do you have any superstitions in the pitcher circle, or things that might be weird from the outside world that you look at and fit into that pitcher stereotype?
This might be bad, but so I have an old glove that I used like freshman and sophomore year, and I got a new glove. And I just feel like my new glove is not it. Like, I cannot pitch with that stupid thing. And I think a Waterloo game, our senior night, I forgot my bag at home. And so I always have my glove and my dad's glove for when we go to pitching lessons. And so I was warming up with my old glove, and senior night, I feel as though I pitched a very good game with 13 strikeouts and like, I don't know. And so ever since then, I've been like, I cannot use my new glove. And my old glove is like, the strings are coming out. It's like, if I get hit the ball, I'm not catching it. Like, it's going to go through my glove, but I feel like I pitch great with it.
There's a special relationship between a fielder and their glove.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
When you're in the field, do you stick with the old glove, or do you switch them out when you're in the field? Because obviously a few more balls are going to get hit to you.
Yeah. It depends. Coach has been throwing me at first base. It's not my normal place, but if I go there, I use my new glove because my old glove doesn't have as much padding, and it hurts when people throw it to me. So I use my new glove then. And if I'm not pitching, I'm not like as superstitious, because I know like the rest of my team's gonna like fine. Like, it's more of the superstitions for me. So like, I don't know.
Does the team as a whole have any superstitions or routines?
Um, Not really. I'm trying to push like the don't step on the line before the game, but there's always that one person that's like laying on it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, don't step on the line.
That
Like,
we lost before we started. You
I know.
you stepped on the
We're
line.
done. We're done.
Let's talk about living out of home and what that's going to be like for you. What's one life skill that you think is going to give you the most difficulties when you're not at home anymore?
Um, I don't. As a family, we've always gone on like big vacations, so we've always been like not home. But I think not being somewhere like even just with my parents, like just going home after softball, not going home, like going to my dorm with a roommate and not being able to tell my dad how I did at practice and him not believing me. So like I can only call him when I'm there. So it's gonna just be hard to be away from my family, but I'm ready to be away. Like I'm excited. So
What is one home cooked meal that you're going to miss the most when you're not at home anymore?
tacos. I die for tacos. Like mom says we're having tacos and I'm like, yes. So I
Now,
think tacos.
are your mom tacos like special? So like you can't just go to Taco Bell and get the same thing. It's not the same. It's mom's tacos are the best.
We usually buy like half a cow or something at the fair that we go to. So like it's like fresh meat. And since we've lived off of like our own, like when we have a pig, like it's usually our bacon and stuff. And you can just taste the difference between store bought and like cheap beef and then like homemade, you know where the beef came from. And she also makes like this taco bake that's like it's like almost like a cornbread, I guess, and she puts a taco meat like below it, and there's like cheese, and sometimes she puts corn in it, and it's fantastic.
We got to
So,
stop making ourselves hungry here at
I
lunchtime.
know, I know.
Let's do what we always do at the end of our player profiles. You've been a part of a couple of them. We like to get the player to take the spotlight off themselves for a minute and shine on the people that are in their life, in their corner, supporting them throughout their journey. I want to do that for you one last time. It's your last time to give your shout outs out.
Yeah,
Give them out as many as you want to give.
yep, definitely my parents, like both of them. My mom's been she's not a sports person, but she's been doing the game changer for our high school this year, and she's definitely learning a lot. Like we get a hit and someone makes like an error and we get on base and she's like, "Yay, they got a hit." My dad's like, "That's not how it works." But so I'm definitely grateful for my parents and definitely Ed Beavers and Dave Flickinger because, like I've said previously, they put up with me. I'm blonde and stubborn, so they definitely keep at me. Like they keep me in the right lane. And just my high school team, even Coach Halovic, it's his first year, and he's really putting his everything into it. And I really appreciate that, definitely for my senior year, because I feel like a new coach, definitely senior year, half the time doesn't go good. Like it, it's just rough. So I've been happy that this year's been so good, even though we've gotten rained out and literally played 12 games. But he's definitely putting his all into it, and I'm very thankful for him and just everybody, and definitely my travel team and the people who aren't on my travel team still. Like Bree McCombs is really like I love her. She's my bestie, but she definitely I support her and she supports me. We played her Wednesday, and when I got the hit, she texted me later and was like, "I was low key rooting for you," and I was like, "Thank you." So just everybody around me, I'm thankful for.
You broke up the no, Mac.
I know. I
All
know.
right, Mac. Thank you so much for the time. We love talking to you.
Yep.
You know that.
Me
We
too.
appreciate it, and we will look forward to talking to you in real soon.
Yep. I'll see ya.